So I've been meaning to do this video for a while. I'm finally getting around to doing it, which is as part 2 to Sadhguru and responding to some of his views about God. Now, before I get into today's video, just a quick comment on the last video I put out, in particular the comment section of the last video, where some of Sadhguru's supposed followers left their thoughts and comments. And to be honest, I was quite shocked. They were very aggressive. Many of them were aggressive, nasty, vile, just really rude in the comment section. And what really took me back was the whole, just the thought that these are people who claim to follow a spiritually enlightened man. And look at the way they're reacting, right? It just didn't sit well. How would he feel if he saw people that claim to follow him were leaving such comments? I don't think he'd be too pleased. That being said, I really still encourage you guys to comment. Let's have that discussion, but let's do it in a civil way so we can get somewhere, right? Otherwise, if we're going to be rude, we're not going to go far, okay? That being said, what I want to share in this video, let me just play the clip first.
So behind no particular god a crowd gathers. Everybody has their own. Then no problem. Behind one god, 1,000 people gather. Trouble. Trouble or no? For sure trouble, isn't it? If all of us had our own gods, no fighting. Because we understood that anyway God is our making, let's make it the way we can relate to. If you like a dog, you can have a god dog. Just reverse the spelling and it'll happen. You don't know whether God loves you or not, but your dog loves you for sure.
So as you guys can see, this idea that Sadhguru is presenting here is not new. He's mentioned this before in previous videos too. This philosophy, this idea that you can make up your own God, you can worship whatever you want. One of the reasons he suggests this or promotes this is because according to him, it will result in peace. It removes violence. It will lead to cohesion, etc. But I beg to differ. If you really think about what he's suggesting is, what he's telling you to do is do what you want to do. He's telling you to express your ego, your desires. I will worship, just worship whatever you want to worship as long as it stops you from fighting. But this is not teaching us how to be civil human beings that can get along with each other. All that's doing is just pushing the problem aside. Eventually, if you disagree about, if you have to unite about something or come together about something later on, you're not going to know how to do it because you haven't learned anything. You will end up inevitably fighting because you haven't learned how to live in a cohesive way where you learn to appreciate and respect each other's differences so you can get along. All this view of making up your own God is doing is just pushing the problem aside and letting you just is giving you a temporary fix. As opposed to Islam. Think about the Islamic perspective. I would argue that uniting under the worship of the one true God truly teaches people how to come together and how to live together and how to put their egos and differences aside for the sake of God. Under Islam, this is what Islam promotes. For example, take the 5 daily prayers. We're told to go to the mosque and we're told to pray in congregation, shoulder to shoulder, make rows and pray to God, the one true God. You can be a businessman and you can be a street cleaner and you could be standing shoulder to shoulder in those rows, worshipping God, and no one could tell the difference between you. Malcolm X, for example, when he went on Hajj, this was something he noticed and really struck him, which was the unity, people from different colors, different backgrounds, different races, different walks of life coming together and worshipping the one true God, and there is no difference between them. All are wearing the same 2 pieces of white cloth and worshipping the one true God. This is something profound about Islam and something that I can go into a lot more detail maybe in a future video. But that is the worship of the one true God, and uniting under this is what truly teaches us how to get along and put our differences aside. And this is not unique to Muslims. Even non-Muslims, Islam, for example, Islamic Spain, right? It was Islam that allowed for the environment where people from different walks of life and backgrounds and religions could come together and study together. Muslims, Christians, Jews, and people from different other walks of life come together and study and learn and progress. This is something unique and beautiful about Islam, which you won't get from the philosophy that Sadhguru is pushing. That being said, one last thing I really just want to touch upon to conclude this video is just for us to really think about this idea of pick your own God, make your own God up, worship whatever you want. How is this showing any respect to God? right? Think the one that provides for us and gives us everything we have, the one that gives us life, our loved ones, the one that gives us all of the beautiful things that we experience in life. This is being ungrateful to him. This is just, turning your face away from God. You're saying, oh, you're the one, we know deep down, God is the one that provides for us and gives us everything that we have. Yet, we're going to turn away and we're going to find something, a stick, a stone, a piece of paper, a spanner. We're going to just put something in front of us and we're just going to worship that instead. How is that being grateful to God, right? Let me try to give you an analogy, and no analogy applies to God, the creator of the heavens and the earth, but just to get us to think about this, it's like saying, John gives you £1,000 because you're in debt and you need to pay the debt off, but you turn around and you start thanking John's cat. How would that make John feel? How would you feel doing that, right? It just doesn't make any sense. It's just, if we truly want to be grateful and give thanks to God and worship God, then we need to worship God. We shouldn't be worshiping things that we make with our own minds or with our own hands. It just doesn't make any sense. So I leave you guys with that. Let me know your thoughts below in the comment section. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. Until next time, take care.